Hello, Crystal Palace. Welcome to the Upper Norwood Library Hub's Library Lunch. This is a place to share positive and useful local information, find out about our fabulous community in a bit more depth, and just try and keep us entertained and connected during this time. So I'm delighted to welcome my guest today, Siubhan Harrison, who is a West End singer, and you guys might recognise from the West End nights at the library, and also the recent live streams from the library as well. So Siubhan, it's lovely to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's a pleasure.
Also, proud local. I live in Forest Hill, so
Awesome.
part of this Southeast hub.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Tell us a bit about your background then, and kind of what would you normally be doing?
Normally, well, fingers crossed, I'd be working. So I am an actor who does a mixture of plays and musicals and TV and film and commercial. I've been very lucky. So and most of that has stopped. Theatre certainly. There is a bit of TV and film and commercials are happening. So it's not all gone. So there are things that are still going. But most of the work has dried up, and obviously now the jobs are even harder to get because there are so many of us not working. So it's got even more competitive. But we're all finding our way through. I think we're all adjusting and making it work.
I guess auditions are even more by kind of self-tape at home and things rather than in person.
Yeah, last night I did 3 commercial self-tapes at home.
Wow.
One of them was quite a lengthy, complicated one that involved 3 locations. One of them I had to levitate in.
How?
Well, I've got serious acting skills. One of them came through at 5 o'clock that was to be in this morning.
Oh, blimey.
So we're all adapting and finding new ways to do it. We've got one corner of the flat that's suitable for self-taping that we have to kind of hoy everything out and kind of clear the way and then put everything back again because we're in a tiny 1-bedroom flat. So that's kind of become audition life at the moment. And then when you do get to go in the room, I've been in the room twice, and it's so incredibly overwhelming and emotional that you can't kind of believe how elated you are to be going in for a hair dye commercial, I think it was. But it's when you know the rules are obviously very different and strict, but it's those little glimpses of life before are so powerful that it's brilliant to be back in the room and auditioning. And I know that I am very lucky to be kind of within the commercial. I've been doing commercials for a long time, and I know a lot of my colleagues haven't done many, so they feel like they're not part of that on top of everything else. So I feel like I'm very privileged to be busy with that.
So you've already got the links and stuff. It was already in process.
Yeah, and just the practice. It's the same with anything. The more you practice things, the more confident you become. So I'm very used to walking into a room and making a fool of myself, and then kind of leaving the door, shutting the door 2 minutes later, and getting on with my day.
Yeah. Wow. How is it different if you're doing more self-tapes at home? You can't as easily shut the door on it, can you? If it's actually in your flat. How do you find that, and how do you deal with that?
Well, sometimes the self-tapes work better at home, particularly for difficult scenes or emotional scenes. You can do it as many times as you want. And I have been known to do them for hours. Which you can't do when you walk into a room with a casting assistant who's got 20 people to see in the hour and she's only got 5 minutes to see you. You normally only get 1 or 2 goes. So to have the luxury of time is brilliant. But it also means that you're kind of doing it in the dark without anyone's feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're just kind of hoping that you're kind of the attempt that you've made is vaguely within the right ballpark, but who knows? And then after you've recorded yourself levitating or whatever it is, you then have to upload it all, edit it, put titles on it, grade it. We had sound effects on one of them last night. So you're then kind of being judged as a video editor and technical wizard. And it takes about an hour to upload onto whatever interface it is. It's
a black hole.
It's so much easier to walk into a casting room and read with someone for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you? Do you feel that this is something that you've got better at over the last few months? More practice at home.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, for the first few months there was nothing, and in a way, and I've spoken to a lot of my friends about this. In a way, it was so. For the first time ever, it was very liberating that the phone wasn't ringing, because the phone wasn't ringing for any of us, and you couldn't kind of go, oh, it's me, I did this, and it's because I look like this, and it's because I like, it was nothing to do with anything that any of us had done. We were all in the same boat. So when the phone wasn't ringing, for the first time, I've been working for 15 years now, the first time you kind of went, oh, it's okay. It's like there is some peace in this. So for the first few months there wasn't anything, and then I've mostly been doing commercial castings. Some other people have had some nice TV castings. I think I've got better at it over the years. I get less tapes sent back to me saying, Siubhan, your tape's really good, but I can only see your right eye, or I can see that you're reading the lines. So I think I've got better at them, but this is a generational thing. So this was kind of coming in. This has only kind of happened to me in the last 5 years. There'll be students coming out of drama school who are so quick and efficient at it, who just know how to do it. And I am of a generation now where I feel like a grandma, because I was never taught any of it. I feel like it's moving faster than I can catch up with. So I don't know how older actors are feeling about it.
And is that partly because you literally didn't get taught it, and actually now drama schools are including self-taping and things, online things, as part of the courses?
Yeah, I mean, we had I did a musical theatre course, and we didn't have a huge amount of screen acting. We didn't even have that. So when self-tape started happening, it was expected really that we would work in musical theatre, and I did for about 7 or 8 years, and then started trying to do other stuff, but had very little screen experience. So I've kind of since done I've since done some courses to try and get that up to scratch. I did one at the beginning of lockdown.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which was great and felt like it was a good use of time.
Yeah, and actually having the time to do it, I guess, which you probably wouldn't normally.
Yeah, we did it every day. So there was a script sent through every day, and you had that time to learn it, which is time pressures that you quite often are faced with. So that was really good practice.
Yeah, amazing. What else did you do with your sort of when everything hit pause, but as you said, for the first time, without, I guess, quite this, maybe different anxieties, but not the kind of usual anxiety you'd had about needing to chase work? What did you do with your time?
I did a lot of exercise classes online, because for me, I know that looks after my mental health. If I'm kind of physically active, then it helps me kind of, that's the way that I let go of steam. So I did a lot of them with various amazing people doing online classes. Lots of dancers were doing online classes, and my God, dancers are something else. Their fitness and their determination is unbelievable in everything that they do. So really hard exercise classes that made you feel kind of good about yourself and part of a community, because we were all doing it on Zoom. And, you know, there's nothing like someone shouting your name to make you work a little bit harder, is there? So I did various ones of them with different groups. I tried to read the plays that have been on my shelf for 15 years. We put together a pot of films that we pretend we've seen or should have seen, classics, and we kind of use the time to watch them. So Casablanca and 12 Angry Men and Brief Encounter and brilliant. We're brilliant, and we would just pick a name out of the pot every night. So that was great fun. We walked around the area. We were looking after our god dog. He's
That's not a term I've ever heard before.
He's my friend's dog, but she was up in Scotland working, so we had him, and he's not our dog, he's our god dog.
Right.
He's actually at my feet at the moment, so we walked him a lot because we're so spoilt for choice with green areas around here.
Yeah, we're so lucky in South London, aren't we?
Oh my god, I wouldn't live anywhere else. We're so lucky to have all of that around us, and I feel like we really explored that, which was great. And for the first time, because my partner's an actor as well, for the first time the pair of us were in the same place at the same time with nothing to do, and it was lovely. We don't really get that. I mean, we argued, everyone argued.
Well, you sort of, I mean, you go from one extreme to another, don't you, then, in that case? Because from probably being completely off doing different things at different times all the time, you're suddenly confined to the house, basically, together for months. It's quite an extreme change.
Yeah, we painted the walls.
Woo.
We actually tried to make the most of the time. And it was, you know, awful to be in that situation, but we tried to make the most of it.
Yeah. Well, yes, you kind of have to, don't you, really? I think with after this long, we would all be in a worse place mentally than we are. If we don't try and make the best of it. So yeah, that's awesome. But you have also been doing some bits of singing, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. I have. I think the one on Halloween will be the third one that we've done since things eased. And the first time we came into the library, and I've done a couple there before, but the first time we came in, and Simona and the band started playing and people started singing, it was incredible to be there with your friends singing out loud. It was really amazing. And then we saw the choir on the first one as well, which I got very emotional about, because it's wonderful seeing the communities come together, and music is so powerful anyway. To be able to sing it's really special, I think. And it was the concerts back have been and the last one was so much fun with the green screen. Was so good. The effects were amazing. And then on Halloween it's going to be another level. We've got
tell us the plans.
I mean, I can't wait to see the green screen effects. We've got costumes, we've got wigs, there'll be props, no doubt.
Wow.
We've got Hocus Pocus numbers, we've got Addams Family numbers, we've got one from Wicked. I am doing a new song from a horror musical.
Wow.
Witches of Eastwick. It's like they're big events. They're really elaborate, like so well put together events. And for us, it's a joy because we get to sing with our friends. It's so much fun. And I had a lot of friends with their children tune into the last ones. So many videos sent of kind of them dancing around the living room. It's so lovely, because it's so amazing to have a concert live that's also being streamed that you can watch from your home.
And to see that it's appreciated and that it's really valuable.
Yeah, they've been amazing.
Yeah.
Looking
And
forward to it.
it there's going to be a very small audience, isn't there, for the Halloween one?
Yeah.
I don't know if you had that for the last one, but obviously the first one, kind of 2-3 months ago, Make Them Hear You, there
Yeah.
wasn't an audience, but the kind of was, because all the performers were in the room. And I do remember that being a very, very emotional experience, because the previous concert had been just before lockdown,
Yeah.
hadn't it?
And it
So
was
it's,
almost the same lineup.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
very emotional. But have you noticed? Do you notice a difference? Kind of, um, does it matter too much not having a full audience if you've actually got some people there?
I mean,
What's the difference for you?
in a way, from a the strange psychosis of the performer, it's sometimes easier to sing in front of your friends who literally sit there with grins on their faces like that than it is to perform in front of 150 strangers who you can't really see, because
Mm.
immediately you walk up on stage and uh, I mean, I'm only speaking for myself. I know there are far more confident performers out there. You kind of walk up on stage and your immediate thought is, oh my God, they hate me. Oh my God, I can't do
Oh,
this. It's
oh,
so funny. And because you can't see anyone's faces, you're then kind of convinced that that's true. And then you kind of have to battle that and put those monkeys away and chuck them off the stage. So to do it in front of your friends in a way is easier. And then
mm.
the audience at home is kind of the audience at home. You can't worry too much about it.
Kind of forget
And
they're there.
that fear only lasts kind of for a couple of seconds, and then you start singing. And you go, oh no, it's fine. This is my job. This is what I do. I can do this.
Mm.
But I mean, having the feedback from an audience is so reassuring, which you don't get with kind of virtual concerts.
Mm.
I've not done one totally virtual without anyone else, but I imagine that's very strange. And I
Mm.
know that there were comedy gigs going on, and that must be incredibly hard.
Really strange. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like you were saying about the self-taping in a way, isn't it? That just you don't not having the feedback makes it very, very difficult to judge
Yeah,
if you're doing what's wanted,
yeah,
I suppose. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Mm.
really looking forward to having an audience there.
Yeah. Fantastic. It's just diverging slightly into kind of general situation from this, because it is a really difficult time for performers and kind of judging what can be done. It's amazing that there's some stuff actually
Mm.
opening up and happening again. But as we were talking before this about kind of extra Christmas jobs and stuff, what I know that I think is that normal that you do anyway? Is this new this year? How has the pandemic affected kind of extra jobs and things as well?
So talking about Christmas, I for 5 out of the last 6 years probably have worked for the Christmas tree company, the Christmas Forest, who employ a lot of actors and stage management who are not working over Christmas.
Mm.
Because other than pantomime and long running shows, the work kind of stops. So we've always employed a lot of actors. This year, I mean, the staff that we have on site are so incredible. We're so lucky to have, it's like casting a show. We've got all of these amazing actors, the best stage managers I have ever worked with, who are all looking for work, not just for Christmas, but particularly for Christmas. So we've got various sites around London selling Christmas trees with guest choirs coming. We've got it's a really lovely thing to do over Christmas, because you feel like you're bringing joy to people. You're outdoors. It's you're working with like-minded people. It's a really lovely thing. But I have always kind of supplemented my acting with in-between jobs, and I think we're all really searching for ways to find money at the moment and things that we can do. I've taken on all sorts of weird work to pay the bills.
I saw really good tweet yesterday. Well, actually, it was about 10 in a chain, but sort of about, obviously, there's a lot of, how can I put this diplomatically? There's a lot of upset, not surprisingly, over our industry sort of being termed unviable. And not surprisingly, a lot of people are very much up in arms, and there's a lot of crossover with people not having had government help and things. And I saw this lovely, very long tweet that was all about the transferable skills that we have as artists and performers, and all the other jobs that we are already doing, both in terms of the skill set and also in terms of actually to pay the bills. And there's a huge amount of transferable skills, and just as you were saying actually about the self-taping, that you not only have to do all the things you'd expect to do as an actor and learn the lines and make the interpretation decisions and actually practice it and so on, but also to then be basically your own director and this makeup and lighting and stage manager and video editor and all those other things that you're not necessarily trained to do, but become part of the freelance, the pile of hats on top of your head. That was not really a question, that was a monologue, but do you have any thoughts about transferable skills, I suppose?
Well,
is my question.
There's this amazing Instagram page called Not on the West End, which is full of people, mostly theatrical actors and stage managers and crew and costume makers who are transferring their skills to new businesses. So these earrings are
They're
from
really
a site
lovely,
called Ava and Azar. And it's an actress called Sophia Farugi, who is in Prince of Egypt at the moment. And she's making these incredible earrings based on a collection of Middle Eastern temples. The colors and prints are all inspired by that. And they're absolutely beautiful. And this candle is from The Moon and Her Daughters, which is another actor who's kind of started making these incredible candles with crystals. But there's other people making outfits and paintings, and you look at that and you're kind of so impressed, overwhelmed, touched by people's talents and their ability to kind of come through this and find a way to keep their creative souls going and to pay their bills. It's, you know, that's a real issue, paying your bills. It's always hard. It's always hard to do that, but particularly now, we're all struggling a bit.
Yeah. So for anybody who is wanting to support the arts and artists at the moment, this sounds like a good way of doing it, actually. Not on the West End on Instagram.
Not on the West End, yeah. And there's all sorts of businesses there. It's really wonderful.
Amazing. That sounds really cool. I'll definitely check that out. So just sort of kind of as a slight sideline to that bit, would you have any thoughts for people who are trying to start a career in the arts at the moment, sort of young people coming out of drama schools and things? Do you have any tips for them?
I mean, hopefully it's not going to get any harder than this, but this level of thick skin that you have to adopt and the way that you have to find your own positive mental attitude is not unusual for us. We're really used to rejection. So everyone needs to find their own mental path through that. You're always told that to find work, you should create work. And I have heard that so many times, and I know that that's the thing to do, but I don't think I'm a natural writer. And so often people are told that they have to write. And I think if you can write, then that's brilliant. Write, make your own work, you know, find your own characters. But if you can't write, then I don't think you should feel bad about that. I don't feel like anyone should be made to feel bad, because not all creativity is the same. There are so many other paths. So maybe, you know, producing concerts is the way to go. Maybe recording music, maybe doing, I mean, one of the best things that I've done during lockdown that's kept me going is a weekly play reading. where we all kind of we get someone is given the script and she just picks names out of the hat. So it's gender blind, color blind, age blind. So I think the other week I was playing Prince Charles, and then
Wow, amazing.
and then a witch, and that's been brilliant. So there are things that you can do, that you can kind of seek to create, and we just have to, you just have to keep going. It's a hard profession.
And actually not necessarily creating things with a big endpoint. So as you're saying with the play reading, that's about doing it for the sake of doing it, isn't it? That's not about doing it to perform it in a great big theatre at the end or something. That's keeping you guys creative and inspired, and giving you the opportunity to practice different types of things, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Doing things that you wouldn't get to do normally. Just the act of speaking lines out loud, reading something and then speaking it, it's something that you have to stay on top of. So things like that, I would encourage. Like, there's so many online plays that you can see that you probably should be paying for. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? We've been so spoilt with free plays over lockdown to now be faced with massive arts cuts. It's so tricky. Everyone seems to have enjoyed all of this entertainment that we've worked hard for, and
it's hoping that hasn't set an expectation or kind of lowered the appreciation of the skill that's gone into it, isn't it?
The incredible skill from everyone involved. That's the thing that people have been upset about, isn't it? The skill, the viability.
Absolutely. Well, so many people doing it have spent a lot of money training, and then also worked. It's the experience of many years of doing it and learning all the time as you go. And I think especially if you guys as actors, my brothers are actors, and they'll kind of go and do a horse riding course or something because it expands their CV and it's something else they can say that they can do, or as you said with like the self-taping, doing a course on self-taping. I think my brother did one very similar to you, actually, that it's every day you're doing a new self-tape and you just have to do it within 24 hours from start to finish. And the amount of continuous work and self-improvement and new learning and things that goes into just trying to keep on top of all the different things you might be asked to do. It's absolutely huge, isn't it?
The dancers who go to dance classes 3 times a week, who've been professional dancers for 20 years. There's so much maintenance involved in honing your skills.
Well, I really hope that all the free stuff has kind of reminded people why all this is valuable, as we move forward into needing to do it slightly differently, because we all have to eat and pay our rent. So we're pretty much out of time. So just to take that into a slightly more positive version of this, just give us a reminder, because you mentioned the Halloween concert, but you have another one coming up as well, don't you, that people might like to tune into?
Yes, we've got the Halloween concert on Halloween, obviously, and then I've got a live gig at the Cucumber in Battersea, where we'll be doing some jazz and guitar.
Amazing. And actually live.
Actually live with people
in
there.
Person. Wow.
Yeah.
So actually, if people are interested in that, they'll need to jump on it, because presumably the numbers are way more limited than normal.
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, brilliant. So hopefully I'm sure that Rin has been very efficient and put the link in the social media feed. So guys, if you're interested in that, get a ticket quickly before they're all gone. And if you want to watch the Halloween concert, then that is live streamed through the Library Hub Facebook page and possibly YouTube channel. I'm not 100% sure about that, but definitely the Facebook page. So check those out. Siubhan, so lovely to chat to you. Thank you very much.
And
can't wait to see you for Halloween, because I will be there.
Oh, brilliant.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
Yeah, fab. Thank you. So just before we finish, a couple of things, usual things. we're still very keen to have people jump in and get involved in our All Alone Together project. This is Arts Council funded. It's creating an oral history of the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic on our local area, and particularly the artistic community, but we're keen to hear from anybody who would like to be involved. The kind of simplest level is just 4 questions questionnaire on our website. If you're up for a little bit more and actually want to be part of the podcast, then I would love to interview you. And they take about an hour, and there's a box to tick on the survey to say that you're happy to be interviewed. We've got maybe 2-3 weeks left on this project, so we'd really love to hear from you. Please get onto that survey and fill it in for us. The more people that do it, the more interesting it is, the more fun it is, the more varied it is, and also the better research that we have. So that would be great. Thank you. We're also always looking for people to be on this show. So, usually it's local people. Usually it's something that connects the community. So performing in the community, or local traders, local organisations, charities and stuff. We're also just keen to hear from people who are wanting to tell us what they've been doing during lockdown. So we had people like Stitches and Seams, who is a lovely Emma, was a dressmaker before and has been making masks. You can buy them in 4 boroughs actually, and I've got some and they're really comfy. So we're very keen to hear from people who'd like to come and chat to us on the show as well. I'm going to finish, Siobhan, I've got a comment from Gaynell, who is one of the choir members, who actually, you mentioned the Palace a cappella performance in Make Them Hear You when we did Stand By Me, and Gaynell was actually one of the people at the very beginning on the phone. So she's commented, I never saw all the free entertainment as an expectation. In fact, it's made me appreciate the arts more, and look at how I can support, albeit in small ways, making donations, etc. Gaynell, that's really lovely to hear. Thank you. That's very reassuring.
Yeah.
I think so. Excellent. I think that's a really good note to finish on. So, Siobhan, lovely to chat to you and see you soon. And everyone else, take care. It's kind of raining today, but I hope you can get outside anyway and get some fresh air. We will see you tomorrow, hopefully midday, for the next library lunch. Take care. Bye for now.